Hello and welcome to CVR News Network. You're watching CVR English World 360 and I'm Sandeep. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol on Tuesday declared martial law in an unannounced late-night address broadcast live in YTN television, claiming he would eradicate shameless pro-North Korean anti-state forces. He did not cite any specific threat from the nuclear-armed North. However, instead of focusing on his domestic political opponents, Yoon said he had no choice but to resort to such measure to safeguard free and constitutional order, saying opposition parties have taken hostage in the paramilitary process to throw the country into a crisis. The surprise move sent shockwaves throughout the country, which had a series of authoritarian leaders early in its history, but has been considered democratic since 1980s. The Korean won was down sharply against the US dollar.
देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को पार्टी के नेता के रूप में घोषणा करता हूं और नेता घोषित करता हूं। देवेंद्र जी पहले भाई साहब सब लोग आप बाद में करना, पहले देवेंद्र जी ऊपर आ जाए। देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को पार्टी के नेता के रूप में घोषणा करता हूं और नेता घोषित करता हूं। देवेंद्र जी पहले भाई साहब सब लोग आप बाद में करना, पहले देवेंद्र जी ऊपर आ जाए। देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को पार्टी के नेता के रूप में घोषणा करता हूं और नेता घोषित करता हूं। देवेंद्र जी पहले भाई साहब सब लोग आप बाद में करना, पहले देवेंद्र जी ऊपर आ जाए। देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को पार्टी के नेता के रूप में घोषणा करता हूं और नेता घोषित करता हूं। देवेंद्र जी पहले भाई साहब सब लोग आप बाद में करना, पहले देवेंद्र जी ऊपर आ जाए। देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को पार्टी के नेता के रूप में घोषणा करता हूं और नेता घोषित करता हूं। देवेंद्र जी पहले भाई साहब सब लोग आप बाद में करना, पहले देवेंद्र जी ऊपर आ जाए। देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को पार्टी के नेता के रूप में घोषणा करता हूं और नेता घोषित करता हूं। देवेंद्र जी पहले भाई साहब सब लोग आप बाद में करना, पहले देवेंद्र जी ऊपर आ जाए। देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी को पार्टी के नेता के रूप में घोषणा करता हूं और नेता घोषित करता हूं। देवेंद्र
Hello and welcome to CVR News Network and you're watching CVR English and this is World 360 and I'm Sandeep. South Korean President has declared the state of martial law in the country and his plan of imposing martial law is very much unclear and has raised so much speculation as why he declared the martial law, whether to combat the North Korean neighbor or to deal with the domestic problems. However, supporters of the South Korean opposition party gathered at the front of the parliament in the early hours of Wednesday calling for the dismissal of the martial law. President Yoon Suk Yeol declared in hours before. In a surprise late-night TV address, Yoon on Tuesday declared the martial law, slamming domestic political opponents and sending shockwaves throughout the country. Yoon said opposition parties had taken the paramilitary and the parliamentary process hostage. He vowed to eradicate shameless pro-North Korean anti-state forces and said he had no choice but to take the measures to safeguard the constitutional order. Yonhap news agency cited the military as saying activities by the parliament and political parties would be banned and that media and publishers would be under the control of the martial law and command. That did not stop hundreds of protesters and media from gathering in front of the parliament, shouting slogans and raising a South Korean flag in defiance.
저는 북한 공산 세력의 위협으로부터 자유 대한민국을 수호하고 우리 국민의 자유와 행복을 약탈하고 있는 파렴치한 종북 반국가 세력들을 저는 북한 공산 세력의 위협으로부터 자유 대한민국을 수호하고 우리 국민의 자유와 행복을 약탈하고 있는 파렴치한 종북 반국가 세력들을
South Korea rejected the martial law after the Speaker of the Parliament declared the announcement invalid. President Yoon Suk Yeol declared martial law on December 3rd in a move that stunned South Koreans. South Korean soldiers were seen packing up their riot gears and walking away from the Parliament building. The move had triggered an attempt by troops to enter Parliament, as lawmakers and protesters quickly voiced opposition. Yoon's move was vocally opposed even by the leader of his own party, Han Dong-hoon. Han Dong-hoon was present for the vote in the parliament and who has clashed with Yoon over handling of recent scandals. Footage showed troops attempting to enter parliament while security tried to push them back with fire extinguishers. However, the South Korea government has decided to lift the law after majority of the leaders decided to block the order.
저는 북한 공산 세력의 위협으로부터 자유 대한민국을 수호하고 우리 국민의 자유와 행복을 약탈하고 있는 파렴치한 종북 반국가 세력들을 일거에 척결하고 자유 비상계엄을 선포합니다. 저는 이 비상계엄을 통해 망국의 나락으로 떨어지고 있는 자유 대한민국을 재건하고 지켜낼 것입니다. 이를 위해 저는 지금까지 폐악질을 일삼은 망국의 원흉 반국가 세력을 반드시 척결하겠습니다. 공산 세력의 위협으로부터 자유 대한민국을 수호하고 우리 국민의 자유와 행복을 약탈하고 있는 파렴치한 종북 반국가 세력들을
The Pakistan occupied committee has called for a shutter down strike in POJK on December 5th to protest the presidential ordinance which mandates prior government permission for public protest, further restricting civil liberties in the region. President of Joint Awami Action Committee, Shaukat Nawaz Mir, criticized the move, accusing politicians of neglecting the people's needs for decades. He highlighted the successful protests made this year led to reduced electricity, imposed the cuts in subsidies.
The Jammu Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee has called for a shutter-down strike in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir on December 5 to protest the presidential ordinance which mandates prior government permission for public protests, further restricting civil liberties in the region. The move, accusing politicians of neglecting the people's needs for decades. He highlighted the successful protests in May this year that led to reduced electricity and flour prices, but the authorities have now revoked the decision and imposed cuts in subsidies.
ये हम पूछना चाहते हैं कि सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक शख्स के इक़्तिदार को तूल देने के लिए वो शख्स रात के 2 बजे तमाम नजरियात भेजे और एक शख्स को आपने वज़ीर आज़म बना लिया और उस शख्स ने तमाम लोगों को अपने साथ जोड़ने के लिए सियासी रिश्वत के तौर पे किसी को मशीर किसी को वजीर बना दिया। ये वो निज़ाम है कि जो निज़ाम आप लोगों का खून चूस रहा है। क्या आप इसी तरह आने वाली नस्लों को भी लावारिस छोड़ना चाहते हैं? आपको तब्दीली लाना पड़ेगी।
A trader warned the protests will
ने एक ऑर्डिनेंस पास किया, सदारती ऑर्डिनेंस, उसकी पूरे आज़ाद कश्मीर के तहत पर बुर मजम्मत करते हैं और ये जब तक ये वापस नहीं होगा हम चैन से नहीं बैठेंगे।
Mir emphasized the need to continue the struggle for the people's rights and condemned the government's double standards. He strongly criticized the government for reneging on its promises. The Awami Action Committee has called for a shutter-down strike in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir on December 5.
According to old Russian tradition, foreign guests are greeted with bread and salt. Here it is not only a greeting but also a little energy boost before a sporting event. Tag rugby tournament among the members of diplomatic missions of different countries is the first competition in the history of Strong Figures Intellectual Sports Festival. Here, men, women and children are on the field. It is just big rugby, only without the contact, so it is safe. Never played this game before, but some have known how to handle the ball since childhood. The main objective is to get the ball over the score line of the opposing team, not to throw it in, but to literally bring it to the goal area. Tags are needed for the defense. By taking the team, the player forces the opponent to make a pass to another member of their team and gets the opportunity to intercept the ball.
Guests are greeted with bread and salt. Here, it is not only a greeting but also a little energy boost before a sporting event. Tag rugby tournament among members of diplomatic mission of different countries is the first competition in the history of the Strong Figures Intellectual Sports Fest.
Это так кажется, что в любом виде спорта очень легко выйти быстрее, выше, сильнее. Нет, все виды. Таг-регби – это очень динамичный вид спорта, в который могут играть не только профессиональные регбисты, а могут играть и вне зависимости от возраста мужчины и женщины в одной команде, семья.
Here are the men, women and children on the field. They are warming up, making their first pass, tearing off the opponent's belt with a tag, a colored ribbon, which is considered to be the equivalent of a successful tackle. It's safer. Many of the participants have never played this game before, but some have known how to handle the ball since childhood.
It is a dream for every boy in South Africa to be part of rugby, and also girls. I've played rugby as a young man in Paarl, in the Western Cape. I'm following rugby. I was part of the fan club for the 2023 Rugby Championship in France. I didn't attend in France, but I was here in Moscow.
The main objective is to get the ball over the score line of the opposing team, to literally bring it into the goal area. Tags are needed. The player forces the opponent to make a pass to another member of their team and gets the opportunity to intercept the ball.
Of course, I think you just have to have stamina. Of course, the games are 5 minutes, but I think you need to have stamina to run around and pass the ball on the correct side, and I think just have fun.
A total of 8 teams took part in the first tag rugby tournament at the Strong Figures, and most of them are national teams. The participants passion. The rivalry here is only in the numbers on the scoreboard, and every competitor is the winner. According to old Russian tradition, foreign guests are greeted with bread and salt. Here, it is not only a greeting but also
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked Donald Trump on December 3rd for demanding the release of hostages held in Gaza. Netanyahu expressed gratitude for Trump through statement on hostages ahead of January 20th inauguration. Trump wrote on Truth Social on December 2nd demanding the release of hostages by the time of his swearing-in. Explicit statement on the hostages since his election in November. During the deadly 2023 attack on Israel, Hamas-led militants captured over 250 people, including dual Israeli-American nationals. Around half of 101 foreign and Israeli hostages still held in Gaza are believed to be alive.
I want to thank President Trump for his strong statement yesterday about the need for Hamas to release the hostages, the responsibility of Hamas, and this adds another force to our continuing effort to release all the hostages. Thank you, President Trump. כרגע אנחנו בהפסקת אש, אני מציין, אנחנו בהפסקת אש, לא בסיום המלחמה. יש לנו יעד ברור להחזיר את התושבים, לשקם את הצפון. אנחנו אוכפים ביד ברזל את הפסקת האש הזאת, פועלים נגד כל הפרה, קלה כחמורה. אנחנו מחויבים להפסקת אש, אבל אנחנו לא נסבול הפרות של הפסקת. אנחנו לא נחזור למצב שהיה ב6 באוקטובר. לא טפטופים ולא זרזופים ולא שום דבר. הצפון יהיה שקט, הצפון ישגשג, הצפון יפרח והצפון יהיה בטוח.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on November 30th. Donald Trump reportedly told Trudeau that Canada should become the US 51st state, with Trudeau serving as its governor. PM Trudeau flew to Mar-a-Lago to discuss Trump's plans to slap a 25% tariff on all Canadian and Mexican imports. Trump is threatening to impose 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico over their failures to curb the flow of illegal immigrants and illicit drugs. Donald Trump said that the discussions for the border, trade and energy were very productive. Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum's plan would have dire consequences for both the countries. Chief Economist Stephen Riccito from Mizuho Securities USA said that it would still cause a ripple effect, especially in Canada and Mexico.
It was an excellent conversation. It was an excellent conversation. It was an excellent conversation.
Nos podríamos ver pronto, pero no hemos fijado una fecha.
Very, very clear that every country that has the border would be affected. But you also have to understand, given the weakness in global economic activity, it's hard for these suppliers to to not absorb some
It was an excellent conversation.
Are you talking about your relationship with Donald Trump?
On the other hand, the Mexican president is also said to have a telephonic conversation with the president-elect Donald Trump. However, what happened during the telephonic conversation is not yet clear, but as per the sources, it is said that the Mexican president said that it would be adversely affecting with the Trump's call for imposing 25% tax on the Mexican imports as well. However, it is also said, as per the closest sources, that the Mexican president will also meet Trump personally before the inauguration of the president-elect Donald Trump on Jan 20th. And that's the end of the bulletin. Keep watching CVR News English.